Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to read your tea leaves. This is going to be a horoscope for the sign of Pisces. So if that is your solar, lunar, rising / ascendant sign, this is the message for you. Let's see. I've been off for a day. I skipped a day. We had so much going on. I just could not film yesterday. So got to get back into the swing of things. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, or this is your first time, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how these readings are resonating with you. And let me know what you're seeing in the cup. What kind of symbols, what kind of, little stories you're seeing. It's interesting that, we all interpret things differently. And especially with these kinds of scrying, divination techniques, we all have different relationships with symbols, and they might be, just a little bit more nuanced from person to person. And, that can change the reading quite a bit. Okay, let's see. This is an interesting one. I'm going to start right here because I already see something very, these formations, the two together here. When I'm looking at this, it looks very dense, right? A lot of the leaves really hung on to this formation right here. They're just piled thick there in the middle. But what this really reminds me of is, and, I might be reaching a little bit, but maybe not really. This little part of the two formations looks like a dog to me. Kind of looks like a little dinosaur, but it looks like a little dog, and it looks like it's kind of chasing. These look kind of like like barking, exclamation type lines. Okay, and this is the mouth here, and it looks like it's reaching up for the rear end of this of this formation here. And this one looks like a person that has like a hat on. They look like their head is kind of gazing upwards. And then this would be the body and the legs. Okay, so it's moving towards the future here. It's moving towards the right. And for me, when we see a formation that, especially if it seems like it's in movement, that means it's going into the future. So because of the position of this formation, which is not in the center of the bowl, but it is enough in this, what I would consider the center here, that this is going to be directly related to the person I'm reading for. So that's you, Pisces. This is not somebody that is involved in the scenario. This is about you. Okay. And now some of you might be familiar with this little metaphor, this little allegory of the person walking with a hat, various kinds of hats depending on the depiction, being chased by a dog or being followed by a dog. And this would be the Fool in the tarot card, in tarot, one of the major arcana, and it's actually usually the 0. Okay, so it's the first of the major arcana. That might vary. I think in some of the older decks, the Fool might have been the last card, if I remember correctly. I'm not the tarot expert, my husband is. Although, I have my own relationships with the archetypes. So the Fool, what does that mean? I'm not calling you a fool, Pisces. Don't get worried, don't get upset. But the Fool, in my estimation, is always a very welcomed card to receive, a very welcomed archetype. And that is because the Fool is the closest being to God. And and why is that? That is because the Fool does not have, they're not limited to the mores of society. They don't have all of these hang-ups about, belief systems, dogma. They are not, they're not bigoted in any way towards anything. They're very open. Okay, there's almost a strange openness to the Fool. So the sign of the Helios, or the solar god, the solar god, the sun god, is usually that of a zero with a dot in the middle. Okay, so that's the impregnated ether, the forever, the primordial, beginnings, the nothing, the void, whatever you want to call it, the creative material where all things came from, and where all things will return. And that is the zero. Okay, so the Fool is very much that. It is the being that is just waiting to be formed into what? Anything, really, and has the potential to be anything. Can go anywhere, can commune with anyone, or any kind of being or plant or whatever, any kind of intelligence, consciousness. There are no limits to the Fool. So the Fool really, now it could also be related to things like, like a crisis in life, where we have like a nervous breakdown, right? And because of that breakdown, the structures, routines, beliefs of your life start to disintegrate. And that can be a very painful process. But in this context, this is kind of that build and destroy, kind of scorched earth. Everything is taken away, everything falls apart so that you may begin again. And that kind of divine suffering. So the Fool really is a very powerful, very potent, and an archetype that we all experience at some point in our life. Some of us, are the Fool more often than not, and some of us may never really identify with this archetype, but I guarantee you there have been points in your life where you have had to start over. There have been points in your life where you've been carefree, you've been in that joy, in that almost, just naive flow, felt very interconnected with things, just kind of followed the whims of the universe. Okay, and maybe that was when you were young, and I think at times, anyways, in my own musings about this, I think, we have this time in our youth where, hopefully we're allotted those experiences of whimsy and adventure and imagination, and experiencing the divine in everyday life that's woven into the subtle. And then, we live our life and we do all the middle stuff in the family and work and taking care of ourselves and other people and, just the stuff that you do and you get busy and hopefully are creating and all that. But then as you get older, some of those ties to this necessity to do, to have the house and have all the things and everything be in order and whatever, some of that stuff falls away and we get more back into this, these places of, flowing with it, seeing the magic in everyday occurrences, having probably more time for ourselves and to ourselves. And, some of that, I think, dissociation from the base reality really can come on, more often in our elder years, which, is scary for some people and wonderful for others. So why is this here? I think that we're looking at, there's really, I think there's probably been a transition of some kind and, in the near past. And I think that during this period of moving forward, it feels like you've been stripped of some things, maybe. I really get the impression of something along the lines of maybe, a change in career, possibly divorce, or the end of a long-term relationship. And I think that there's kind of this almost feeling of being able to, and I think this is beyond kind of some of the grief, okay, and loss feelings, but I think that there's almost a sense of like the open road, okay, like the ability to do more without all of the constraints of the responsibilities that you had before. And I don't know if that is realistic or if that is kind of a feeling that you're having. Like you're starting to have like, oh, now I could do this. Oh, I could totally do this or this or this. And you probably still have a lot of responsibilities and maybe you couldn't do all those things on a whim. But I think you're starting to get into that stage of whatever's gone on, some of the loss, and I'm not going to go through like the grief stages, but some of the, I think that you're going through the stage where you're like seeing the potential for other things that you could be doing. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead. And now turning this on this side, it looks like a snail, like a large snail. And I think this has been a slow moving situation. I think, and that's why I think it's something more serious than like a divorce or you've changed a career path that you've had for a long time. But the thing that I'm really feeling is that there's a new sense of like vigor. I really think that you are just starting to feel the little tinges of possibility, and that's really making you want to get up in the morning again. And see this little heart down here? It looks like it looks like just the beginning of your heart growing back, okay? I think that this thing has been hard, and I think it's been, it could have happened years ago, the last couple of years. It could have been a few months ago, maybe a finalization. But you're getting over mourning whatever happened. And I can feel, I'm just going to turn this here. And I can feel that you just really, and now let's see this up here. This is an interesting one. immediately I think of something like a genie or a djinn type of being. And I'm so highly interested in the djinn. But this is not, I'm not going to go into down that route, because I don't think that's a very complicated complicated race or species of entities to really start delving into. But that's not the feeling I'm getting. I think this is more of like a very light, surfacey, pop culture-y stereotype kind of symbol that I'm seeing here. Very light. And I'm just gonna say, though, it really just makes me think of like wishes. Okay, so it's more of like at least in the West, the collective understanding of what a genie would be. So I think that really this is just an indicator to me that you've really been going through a lot, and it's been difficult, but you're really starting to get over those grief and mourning kind of feelings. I think even you've let go of a lot of anger. I really feel that there's like a rise in energy, interest. I think you're, maybe excited about your possibilities of like the next kinds of work you're going to be doing, or maybe you started a business or gone back to school, basically, or yes. So basically you've done the work to begin the transition into this new phase. Now, if this is about a relationship, I feel like it could be more along the lines of like getting started to date, or even more than that. I don't even know that this is about thinking about romantic or physical interests. I think this is more like doing things that you want to do without like kind of having to like check in with somebody else. I think the potential for things like traveling or just going out and doing the stuff that you like to do, not the stuff somebody else likes to do, that is just really exciting for you right now. And I think that like it's all coming back to you. I think there's like kind of this real intense kind of excitement, joy about this newfound freedom really building up. And I think that really this sign with the wishes, I think that you just feel like your wishes are being answered. I think that it was very difficult to go through this loss that you've gone through. I think that the first stages of it were probably this was not your idea. I don't think you initiated this change. And I think that was really hard. It took you by surprise. I think it was difficult. I think that you probably knew that it might be happening soon, but you didn't really believe it until it happened. Okay. And now I'm looking at this here. And I think that it was kind of a surprise. I think that it was difficult. You didn't necessarily want this. You maybe wanted to work on trying to make things better. But that was not so much of an option for you. Okay. But see, the thing is, I think that, and I'm seeing a bird here. I'm trying to decide, is this bird perched? It seems like it's flying to me, like maybe lifting off. And I'm looking at the wrong one in the camera. Let's see. Right there. Okay, so I think that really this just is showing me that you really have begun to take flight. You are not, you're not soaring necessarily yet, but I don't think it's going to be long until you are. I see a person seated in a throne here. They're kind of looking at, let me see. A person kind of seated in a throne looking seat here. So maybe the emperor. And I see this thing, kind of, it looks like it's lifting its leg up. I don't know what that I don't know exactly. It almost looks like it's falling backwards. Or it kind of looks like a bird eating seeds or something. But I think this emperor, this side view of the emperor, the side profile, to me, just, it really, I feel like your power is coming back to you. Now, I earlier pulled a card, and this is the Temperance card, okay? So, for me, whenever I get the Temperance card, I know that we need to temper self a bit. And that's usually the clearest message I get, that I need to remember myself. I need to dial it back, go a little more slowly, and just, be slow to react to things. And I think that this is really, the Emperor really is tied into that, finding your power, but not going too quickly, being thoughtful, diplomatic, not letting the anger overtake you in those moments of, feelings of loss, jealousy possibly, lamenting the past, what could have, should have happened, whatever. Letting go of some of that stuff. Just really letting yourself experience the now, enjoying what you have, what you will have soon. Just really working on your life that you want. Okay. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think really just, really remembering that we need to always kind of temper our expectations of the world, of other people, of situations. It never hurts. And sometimes, that's good, because it will exceed those expectations, and then you will be, happily surprised, right? Let's see. I just wanted to look at this one last thing before I go to the plate. This one looks like a person that's like hand in hand with this other person. It almost looks like they're like kind of swinging them around. It reminds me of how my daughter loves to be swing. Like, she's always like, swing me. She likes to be, like kind of flown around and dipped and swung around, and just, she gets that just young joy. And so such a fun thing to see somebody really enjoy something so purely, but I think this is just, I feel like this has to do with your relationship with a younger person. I think this is maybe like your child, maybe it's nephew, niece, little brother, little sister, a child of some sort in your life. And I think that seeing this symbol, or this formation symbol here, I think it really just indicates to me that you need to meditate on how kids enjoy things. Like, they just so purely find just enjoyment in like the littlest things. And like, I think that in your friendship, relationship, like I said, if it's your kid or whatever, you probably are playing with your kids a lot, or your brother and sister, or whoever. And watching kids play, and while interacting with them, and you get to get down on the ground with them and pretend and, play the games. And especially when they start making up their own little games and stuff, which is really fun. You really get pulled into that world of just imagination, possibility. And that kind of ties back to that Fool archetype. But I think just, through those kinds of interactions, it's good to just let yourself get really immersed in that. really feel it, enjoy it, be present. And I think that will help you. That will help you, you know, and especially in those moments when you feel overwhelmed, just to remember that like the littlest stuff in life is like the best stuff. And this one's a little hair from my cat, I think, here. Now I'm seeing this 5 here. So I'm guessing that there's a 5 that's really important in the situation. I don't know what that is, but look out for a 5 in your life. And I think I just see this as really nice. It's a little asymmetrical just because it's not exactly a square. But more than anything, I'm seeing that this is just kind of a symmetrical, balanced situation going on. I think that, you know, I don't think that you're going to be feeling any kind of, you know, guilt, shame, just feeling, like I said, guilt probably, about you're moving on. I think it's probably interesting, honestly, that I don't feel like you were the one that initiated this either end of like you're working somewhere or business or a long-term relationship, but I think you're the one that's really going to flourish. And I think that even though you probably tried to make the situation work for longer than it maybe should have, you know, I think you're a very loyal person and you just work really hard and you try to, you know, find any way to make something go smoothly for, you know, so that it won't just fall apart. But I think that in this certain case that this thing coming apart is good. I think it's definitely a good thing for you. And I think that you're going to be the one that's really going to flourish. I don't know about the other person because I didn't really see them in our bowl. So hopefully that means that you're not, you know, too, you know, stuck on that. And I think from everything that I can see, it seems like you're not. It seems like you're moving on okay. It seems like you have a lot of ideas and, you know, some inspiration and passion and just excitement for what's coming. So I'm really excited for you, Pisces. And, you know, I think that's the reading. I think that's pretty much what I got. I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. Thank you for clicking on the video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you feel so inclined to share any of my videos on social media, I would be so thankful. You can find me on Facebook. It's Ula Tea Leaf Readings. You can find me on Instagram, Ula of the Tea. And what else? If you're interested in a private reading, my email is in the description. You can just click on that and find the email, send me an email, and we will get that set up. Other than that, I am just so happy to bring these messages to you. So honored that we spend this time together, and I thank you. So have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is there for you. Thanks again. This is Ula Tea Leaf Readings, and my name is Lenor. Bye-bye.